Hi guys, and welcome back to another Metal Roast video. And today, we are talking about love. That's right, Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and of course, it is the day when couples come together to reminisce and talk about the fondness for each other as human beings. And it is also the day where single people come together and complain about the fondness of human beings as well. But regardless of that, today we're going to be talking about it in regards to the metal community. Because the metal community is no stranger when it comes to love, for there are plenty of tracks that are dedicated to every facet of a relationship and love in general. And today we're going to be talking about 5 particular tracks about love and Valentine's Day. However, this is not going to be your typical lovey-dovey romantic metal music. No, this is going to be slightly different because we see metal is such a passionate genre where we have huge levels of emotion being produced by bands, and love is no different. And one thing I do like about metal is the fact that they can actually express these heavy, visceral feelings in their music. So this is not particularly going to be the happiest love songs, but definitely they're going to be love songs to some extent. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and we're going to jump right into this. So to kick off this list, we're going to start with our probably the most comedic one out of the bunch, and that is of course Bro Job with Be My Valentine. That's right, it's a bit on the nose, but I thought, you know what, might as well include it. This is definitely not the sort of in-depth, philosophical, romantic writing that Bro Job has done, but if you're aware of Bro Job, then you probably know that they've never been very serious as a band. Except for probably their more newer stuff where they talk about mental health and depression. But pretty much this track, to sum it up in a very quick fashion, it starts off pretty innocent. We have talking of going for a picnic, you know, the old sort of archetypal things you do as a couple when maybe you're first starting off in a romantic situation. But then it delves into more perverse, more disgusting, and I'm not going to say the lyrics because frankly, I'm going to get demonetized, so I'll probably just have some stuff popping up here and there. But overall, yeah, this is just a fun comedic track. It's definitely a parody track. Yeah, if you just want a quick laugh, you can go ahead and check out this band, Bro Job with Be My Valentine. Next, we're going to be looking at the more passionate side of love in kind of an eerie way, and that is with the track Let Me In by the band Make Them Suffer. Make Them Suffer, deathcore band from Australia, one of the best in my opinion, and they incorporate something a bit extra than just your run-of-the-mill deathcore band would. And with this track, they're talking about a very intense situation in a relationship where we have one person begging for the other person to come back. Maybe they've done some mistakes, they've been violent, they've been abusive, but they feel like they can change. And this is something that unfortunately does happen in a lot of couples. It is a very passionate song about these dark imagery, and if you do take the time to go through it, have a look at the lyrics, I'll have some of them coming up. It is very visceral and impactful. And overall, the melody, the music behind it does back it up with its very sort of melodic sense of writing, and also the piano section with the female vocals as well in the background does add to that depth and character that this track has. And overall, it is one of my favorite tracks from the Make Them Suffer discography. It's just so emotional, it's so intense, it has so many layers, and the lyrics themselves I consider to be very iconic. But anyway, that's my second pick for these tracks. Moving on. Next, we look at the track Love by the band Strapping Young Lad. So if you don't know, Strapping Young Lad is actually an old project by none other than Devin Townsend, who definitely is more heavier days, less symphonic, and very much just straight up progressive brutality and heaviness. And in this track in particular, it sees Devin writing lyrics of on almost a philosophical sense, where he talks about love in a very sort of objective and abstract way, with such lines as love is a way of feeling less alone, where he sort of questions the idea that maybe we fall in love as a way to trick ourselves so that we don't have to feel lonely. And then it goes into more interesting philosophical concepts, such as the idea that love is a paradox of needing, where we start considering love and the idea of someone else in an infatuated way as a way that we see ourselves needing water or food or shelter. And the lyrics go on to be even more intense, where we go into the chorus where he says love is about control. So it's a lot of interesting concepts behind love and relationships. And in some lights, you could say this was written by a person on Reddit who's never been in a relationship, but nah, I don't consider it that way. I think it's a very interesting concept. And with a lot of these tracks on this list, it's not the conventional approach songwriters would take about love. This isn't your sort of singer-songwriter shtick you would get from a guy just playing guitar under a tree. No, these people are sort of taking the theme and changing it, making it more malleable and interesting, and presenting it in a fashion that audience members generally wouldn't absorb as the norm. Anyway, that's my next pick. Moving on, we have the track Valentine's Day by Linkin Park. Another one a bit on the nose, but I feel like it deserved to be on this list. So, a bit of a story time about this one, and that is the fact that this holds a special place in my heart because a few years ago when I was in uni and single, me and my single friends would congregate together at the studio, of course recording studios in my university, and we'd actually jam out this track on Valentine's Day. Yeah, I know, it is goddamn sad. It really is. And this was sort of our way to protest against the whole idea of Valentine's Day. And the idea is that we don't need to be in relationships when we got each other. But since then, we've all ended up in relationships, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, that's the small story time part of that. And moving on, this track is very visceral, very emotional, very dark and depressing in a way. This is a different version of love, and the way I used to see it is that it's Chester Bennington singing about a person who he has lost, and it just so happens that they were on Valentine's Day. Due to the lyricism I found in this track, I was a bit confused whether he was referring to a dog or a pet, because on the lines where he says they put you down inside, it seems like a term that you more used for a pet. I mean, you don't hear many people say that they put down my girlfriend or significant other. That just seems weird. Whatever this track's about, the thing about it is that it's Linkin Park, it's Chester singing about losing someone on Valentine's Day. And what is interesting about this track is sort of brings this idea that Valentine's Day is not always a positive thing. People can represent something differently. And in Chester Bennington's case, yeah, he did not have a good Valentine's Day at all. Yeah. And moving on. And finally, this last pick is not really a track, but more of an album, and is the album The Poison by Bullet For My Valentine. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to come back to this band once more, but I feel like it had to be on this list. Like, their whole name is Bullet For My Valentine. It's a depressing thing. And I think it's one of those quintessential albums that has always reminded me of that whole teenage angsty phase. This album is littered with tracks about every aspect of a relationship, mainly the negative side, but it's still about love. I think it's a really cool metalcore album. It's heavy, it's aggressive, it has a lot of deathcore elements that were existing before deathcore really blew up and became its own whole genre. It was bipolar as hell, it was aggressive, it had acoustic moments, and of course it had their iconic song, Tears Don't Fall. So just for that alone, I think this album is deserving of a listen. But anyway, I'm going to leave the list here. As you can probably tell, these are not really the tracks / album that you would use if you were trying to seduce anyone on Valentine's Day. This is more for, I don't know what this is for. This is just a weird list about love songs that are not really love songs, but take that for what it's worth. But anyway, I'm going to leave the video there. I want you to comment down below what are some of your favorite tracks that are related to metal and the whole love thing. I'll be curious to see what you guys pick, because yeah, sort of a juxtaposition in this video. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe if you want to keep updated on more content such as this. Besides that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.